Well, hey there, friends. It's Chris from the Rate the Record podcast, and guess what? Guess what? As a matter of fact, you probably already know what. You can see it in the title. It's time for the NMR. No surprises here. I got 3 new songs for you to check out because I already did. I have opinions on them. I want to know yours. So let's get this whole process going right now. You really shouldn't be drinking soda while you record like audio because your throat gets gunky and you burp a lot. That's okay, I'll deal with it. I edit out all the burps, you won't even hear it. Remember when I used to leave them in? So first up on the list today, we have the band Ministry, the iconic legendary industrial metal band out of Chicago, Illinois, are coming back with their 16th full-length studio album. They've been around since 1981, so 16 albums. Sounds like a lot, but that's also a long time to be around. But yes, their 16th is dropping next March, so they're already teasing it with tracks. I can speak properly. The name of the album is Hopium for the Masses, and the first single that they're teasing us with is Goddamn White Trash. So of course, yes, right off the bat, what else would you expect rather than just industrial metal? This has industrial metal written all over it. It's Ministry, so if you weren't expecting this, I don't know what you're expecting. You got these really sharp and crunchy guitars, these distant and very expansive drums, distorted vocals, like a lot of the tropes are there, so once again, you should be expecting this. So as Ministry has done for a while, of course, they take a lot of political shots in this song, as I'm sure a lot of their new album will too. This one, of course, takes blows at the alt-right and that entire movement. But I don't speak politics on this show. I don't do it on this channel. Savannah and I don't do that, so I'm gonna leave it there and just be like, yes, you can expect that going into this song. So there you go, you've been warned. Honestly, I have to say the production's actually a little weak in this track. I found listening to the whole thing that it was lacking a whole bunch. It sounds like they had so much room to work with, but didn't really utilize it, and it's hard to explain exactly what they probably could have done with it, because they filled out a lot of the soundscape with these low bassy tones that's not necessarily just a bass guitar. Like, that's all they could do to fill out the sound instead of, like, you know, utilizing more of what they have. Again, it's hard to explain. It just felt pretty weak to me. And going off on the point of weakness too, I believe the drum tone is probably the weakest part of the track for me. It sounds really cheap, and I get that it's likely electronic drums, but it just doesn't really match any of the intensity being brought on by the rest of the instrumentals, so I don't know, it feels like an odd mismatch here. Overall, I will say I do like the energy of the track. It's not necessarily an awful song or anything of the sort, but the production left a lot to be desired, so it didn't leave the best taste in my mouth, let's just say that. Oh, there's one of those soda burps. So coming up second on the list, we have the band Mondo, a psych rock band out of Oakland, California. They've been together for roughly 8 years, and they've only released 2 albums in that entire span, but they do have a third on the way this September, and I'm looking at the project's title track, Through the Hourglass. This song has callback written all over it, and of course I am referring to the 70s psych rock, as I kind of hinted at a moment ago describing the band. The song starts out with some pretty chill grooves. You know, you have these wavy guitars, a soft organ, a buttery smooth bass kind of just playing nicely in the background, a slow but punchy drum line that like really sets the mood, so you're really kind of feeling those old school vibes in this one. Even the vocals, when they eventually kick in, have callbacks as well to bands like, I would personally think, like Gentle Giant, Spooky Tooth, and maybe even a little bit of King Crimson sprinkled in. Just think of those styles of vocals, that's kind of what came to mind for me. In a way, this song plays a little bit heavy into what most would consider to be stereotypical stoner cliches and tropes and all of that, but that's not to say that it doesn't sound good, though. To be expected with a psych rock track, it's the long drawn instrumental passages that really just kind of move this song along for the most part. But I will say the jam is tight, the highlights of guitar solo fit the mood very well, and you can tell these folks really did their music homework when it came to this style. It felt good to listen to. Overall, I actually dig this track. I actually did really like it. You know, out of all the revival bands I can think of that wear their influences too heavy on their sleeves, this could be considered one of those bands, but in a way they are still doing it to make it their own. So it's not like you can completely say, oh, it's this band or that one. Like, they're kind of doing it in their own style. I dig that, I like it, and I think you should check it out. And finally, on my NMR today, we have Keddies Resort. I think I'm saying that right. It's like Keddies, but K-E-D instead of K-I-D. So Keddies Resort, and they're a punk band out of Portland, Oregon. They've only been around since 2021, so they're still fairly new to the scene. They released an EP as their debut project and have released a couple of singles since then. And their latest single is actually their third one, having popped up this past August, early to mid-August, I should say. And the song is called Sinking Ships. This song has a very fast and fun energy to it. Just a blistering garage punk track with very big guitars behind it. It's a very fast song, a lot to enjoy in, like, I think the minute and 48 seconds you get out of it. Kind of like I did with the first song, I'm gonna make a comment about the drums here, except that I actually like the drums this time around. It sounds like it has a bit of a layer of distortion over it, which I actually really like. That layer alone adds a little more intensity to the track, to an already kind of intense but fun feeling song. That, and I think the drums have like a bit of a mix on the lower end of the EQ because it sounds so pounding and it's not necessarily coming out of the bass or guitar. So I thought that was really cool too. It just added a lot more depth to the track, so that's interesting considering how minimal this project feels. As I said, it's a super quick track, only a minute and 48 seconds, so it's over before you've even truly had a moment to comprehend what you're listening to, but that's the beauty of these short songs, so you can go back and re-listen to them over and over again. It doesn't feel like too much because of how quick it is, so that's how I treated this song, and that's how I found out that I actually really liked it. On that note, overall, it is fun, it's enjoyable, energetic, hyper, so, you know, me like, yes, me like, yes, me like. I'm pretty sure me trying to describe that just knocked my IQ down to like single digit at this point. And wouldn't you know it, that's all I have for this week, so thank you very much for checking this video out, and these songs too, if you did indeed check those out, and if you did, you gotta let me know what you thought about them, because I'm very curious. You heard my opinions, I want to hear yours, so down in the comments below, please let me know, just because I like having these conversations, it's a lot of fun. But you can also let us know over on our social medias what you thought about the songs. So that's Rate the Record Podcast on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Threads. I gotta remember all of them. But you know what? I shouldn't have to remember all of them because you can just go to ratetherecord.ca and find all of our social media links there. You can also find all the streaming links. You can request album, get some of our merch if you haven't picked up anything yet, and you can join the RTR Club for $5 a month if you like early access to things and bonus content and all that kind of fun stuff, like other things too. Regardless, I'll leave that to you to check out. It's all at ratetherecord.ca, so make sure you're taking a look. And what a time to be checking out ratetherecord.ca and everything that we're doing, because as of the release of this particular video, we are in the middle of our anniversary week. The podcast just turned 2 years old. Technically, I think the day that this is coming out, the podcast is 2 years old. So hey, that's pretty cool. Happy anniversary. We did have some decorations, but we recorded last week, so they're already all gone. Episode 88, we took a look at Pearl Jam's Vitalogy, which again, Pearl Jam goes all the way back to episode 1 of the podcast, so that's our callback for us. Yesterday, at the point of releasing this video again, we released our mixtape episode. We exchanged mixtapes. How well do we know each other's musical taste after 2 years? Tune in, find out. Those videos are always a lot of fun to do. And as far as I'm concerned, we're both releasing NMRs this week, so Savannah should have one out. Hopefully, I'm speaking in the past right now. I don't know if she'll have one done yet, so I'm crossing my fingers, so we'll see. A whole bunch of content for our anniversary. And also on the RTR Club, if you do join for $5 a month, we're putting up an exclusive hour-long non-music chill podcast over exclusively for people on our RTR Club at ko-fi.com/ratetherecord. So if that sounds cool too, check that out. There you go. I've spilt everything. I think we're good to go, so I can just let you go. Hopefully Savannah has an NMR out, so you can check that out too. So, and check out the other stuff for the anniversary. It's all fun. So one more time, thank you very much for joining me. We'll see you again next time for the podcast. Until then, go listen to some awesome music. Take care, friends.